Thank you so much. My name is Mariana. I work for AWS as Solutions Architect, and I advise manufacturer customers in the cloud journey. So for the past 3 days, we heard a lot of exciting use cases with customers succeeding in the cloud with their data, unlocking very interesting use cases. We saw very amazing products by our partners. And for today, I want to take a step back and discuss the strategic foundations that need to be taken care of before we can unlock all these use cases. So the topic of today is industrial data strategy. And I'm going to discuss how the connection of people, processes, mindsets, and technology will lead you to make impact in your manufacturing business. Manufacturing companies leading digital transformation are already achieving significant results. They see significant results in production efficiencies, sustainability metrics, and time to market. But can we say what's the leading factor behind this success? On the one side, it's the technology adoption. Digital leaders have the property that they very fast adopt technology. But we also have another common thread here. And this is that digital leaders see their data as an asset and not as a byproduct of operations. Think of your own business. How much time will it take to your teams from collecting data to reaching out at a point that they have some insight on the data? If you are thinking hours to weeks, you are maybe already on the right track. But if you are thinking weeks to months, then your business definitely can go under improvements. And what I want to discuss today is that with a modern industrial data strategy, we can basically integrate the data that are coming from operational technology and informational technology, and we can democratize this data so that the teams have access to this. Today, we will see how this can be done. We currently have 5 trends that are pressing for implementation of industrial data strategy. First, we have cost pressure and operational efficiency. You all know that manufacturers currently need to do more with less. And when you have unlocked your data, you can identify inefficiencies and lead to improvements. We have pan-industry initiatives. And with these initiatives, like for example, Catena X in automotive or Manufacturing X, you need your data to be in a standard format in order for companies to be sharing the data with each other. We have new revenue growth areas. Manufacturers start moving from physical products to products as a service, for example, or data as a service. They start finding new models of revenue. And your data need to be in a good shape for this. Of course, we have Gen AI. You can see a lot of interesting Gen AI use cases in the booth. But the prerequisite for this is to have a solid data foundation. And finally, we have a lot of regulations around data, how long do our data need to be retained, sustainability reports that need to be tracked, product lifecycle tracking, so our data need to comply to specific standards. Let's see now the reality we face in most of our manufacturing customers. You see here the 4 cells. And we know there are 4 domains of data production and manufacturing. We have the operational technology, information technology, business applications, and engineering and design. And all these cells that you see on the slide are producing data. But what you don't see on the slide is the cells communicating to each other. And this is what we call in data science a data silos, meaning that the data remain exactly in the area that they were produced and are not exposed in other domains. This is what we want to avoid. But there are challenges that are produced by this model. So collecting the data discovering the data in these domains and collecting it, preparing it, and exposing it as an overall product is very challenging for the team. It takes a lot of time, preparation of the data. For example, think of the simplest case of a timestamp, right? A timestamp might have different format in the system, so the engineers need to take care of this. A code might mean something else in one system from another system. So the engineering teams and domain specialists need to know these differences and take care of this before the data are exposed to the business. And then we have the business, which is basically limited. So the business cannot self-service of the data and create the reports that they need, but they need to approach the specialist, make a special request, hello, I need this report, and then the specialist will proceed by do all these operations of the data in creating the report. Now we have data strategy approaching this problem. And what I want you to see in this slide is that the data strategy is not only about technology. Technology, it is a big piece of the puzzle, but we have also people, processes, and mindset that make our data strategy. Think, for example, that you bought new equipment for modernizing your production line, but you didn't take care of training your operators, of changing the mindset, adapting your processes to follow this new equipment that you bought. Yes, the equipment will deliver better, but it will not deliver in its full potential. And we have the same exactly with your data. Another point that I want you to understand for this slide is the foundation of everything is the business value. We do not do a data strategy just for doing a data strategy. We need to identify this case that is the most valuable for our business and work backwards to it. Think, for example, that you want to reduce downtime. Then you will start identifying a predictive maintenance use case, identifying which people are relevant to this, which processes need to be adapted. You need to identify which data will play the key role and work backwards from your case in order to build your data strategy. Now I want to discuss the roles that play in this data strategy journey. So we have the data producers, and these are our domain experts of where our data is being produced. The data producers can be, for example, your production teams or quality engineers. They know about their data, they know what every code means in the system, and so on. And these have the ownership of the data. Then we have the technology team, or what we call here the data marketplace. And this is the technological, the IT infrastructure that will securely host our data, that will make sure that the data is only exposed, for example, to the teams that have the right to see the data, that make sure that standards are being kept and that we have compliance. And finally, we have data producers. Here, for example, you can be having your operations managers or your executives. And these are the people that really need your data to make value out of it. Let's see this now by an example. But before this, I want to discuss what a data product is. And the data product is not very far away, but by a manufacturing physical product that you will be selling to your customers. A data product is a package of data that have been prepared, validated, and documented and are able for consumption for your specific use case. So coming now to the example, we have, for example, MES, raw process data, and out of this data, we create a data product, and this is the cycle time dashboard. This is what my business will consume in order to identify the improvements, and with this, drive overall equipment efficiency. Okay, so here you see how are the technical details of this. We have our manufacturing team, and this is the cell that we saw before. And the manufacturing team is accessing data out of my MES. Then we have what in data science we call a data pipeline. And this is where we prepare all the data to be able to be consumed. And the data is then packaged as a data product. So data that can be consumed by my machine learning services or different dashboards and so on. The complete is then exposed in interfaces that are relevant to my use case. So for example, if I want to have SQL queries, I can have an SQL interface, or I can have different dashboarding and so on. And what we want to take from this example is that also the technological part, okay? So here we have the organization of the manufacturing IT team working with this data, and we have also technology, as for example the AWS, helping us in every step of this process. So there will be different technological parts to connecting our machinery to the cloud, collecting the data, building the data pipelines, training my machine learning models, building my dashboards, and so on. I want now to discuss about a customer who is succeeding in the cloud already and is working with us to build their data strategy. So Heidelberger Druckmaschinen, or Heidelberg in short, is a customer that has been working with us for the past 5 years. They are global leaders in printing industry, and they have built a platform, a data platform on top of their connected machines. This brings, of course, a lot of data. So now they are working with us as a strategic partner to define the data strategy, refine the ownerships, refine the data quality, rules that need to be applied, and so on. And through this, they incrementally build the data strategy and, of course, unlock next generation use cases, as for example, Gen AI. Okay, coming now to the technological part. Here you see a reference architecture. So AWS has a lot of native services and also a lot of partner services to support you in this journey. There are different services and products to help you in every part of the product journey. For example, from connecting the machinery, from sending the data to the cloud, from the shop floor to the cloud. Also a lot of edge services, so that not every data needs to be sent to the cloud. Data preparation services, machine learning, visualization services here at the end of the screen. Okay, and with this I want to thank you.